Hello and welcome to your SST class again, my dear students. We'll continue our chapter which I already started in our previous video, the chapter of history, civilizing the native and educating the nation. We have already discussed three headings in our previous video. Today we are with some more new headings, some more new points of this chapter. So let's begin with education for commerce. Okay. So first of all, we'll try to understand that what does this heading means, and just a quick recall that what we have discussed in previous video. पिछले वीडियो में हमने डिस्कस किया था स्टूडेंट्स कि सम ऑफ द इंग्लिशमैन्स दे स्टार्टेड टेकिंग इंटरेस्ट इन आवर इंडियन एंशियंट टेक्स्ट, आवर इंडियन लैंग्वेजेस. They started learning many Indian languages like Persian, Sanskrit, Arabic. Okay, and with the help of those Indian languages, studying of Indian languages, they were trying to explore our ancient texts. They were trying to study our ancient history, our historical past, the glorified past of India. And in that procedure, some of the Englishmen joined together to form Asiatic Society. But the things were not so easy. हमेशा जहां पर किसी काम को स्टार्ट करने के लिए कुछ लोग फेवर में होते हैं, तो नॉर्मली देर आर सम पीपल दैट आर ऑल्सो इन द अपोजिशन. एंड वाई नॉट टू बी इन अपोजिशन, बिकॉज इट वॉज द वर्क डन बाय द ब्रिटिशर्स, एंड ब्रिटिशर्स वर ऑलवेज रेडी टू अपोज इंडियंस बाई वन और द अदर वे. तो मैनी ब्रिटिशर्स अपोज्ड कि वाई शुड वी स्टडी, वाई द ब्रिटिशर्स शुड स्टडी इंडियन टेक्स्ट, व्हाट इज देयर हिडन इन इंडियन टेक्स्ट. दे फाउंड दैट इंडियन पास्ट वाज नॉट सो ग्लोरिफाइड. उनको लगता था कि इंडियन एंशियंट पास्ट में ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है जो स्टडी करना चाहिए. दे फेल्ट देयर कल्चर, देयर ट्रेडिशन एज मोर ग्रेटर देन इंडिया. ओके, उनको लगा कि इंग्लैंड का जो कल्चर है, इंग्लैंड के ट्रेडिशंस है, इंग्लैंड का जो पास्ट है, दैट इज far better than India. Then why to learn Indian text? Why to learn Indian history, Indian past? Okay, so in this contradiction phase, uh, a new education policy was being adopted, in which, as we have discussed in the previous video, the last point which I was discussing, that they emphasized on English medium pattern education. They decided that the higher education that is to be given in India should be in English medium. Okay, so in that scenario, let's look education for commerce. Now what this Britishers thought is, they try to commercialize the education. उन्होंने इंडिया में एजुकेशन को कुछ इस तरह से स्प्रेड करने का सोचा कि उससे उनका लॉन्ग टर्म प्रॉफिट हो, उनको कुछ फायदा हो उससे. ठीक है, भविष्य में कुछ उनको बिजनेस जनरेट हो, उनके जो भी यहाँ पर वर्क्स हैं इंडिया में, उससे उनको डायरेक्टली कोई ना कोई प्रॉफिट अर्न हो जाए. कैसे, हाउ वाज इट पॉसिबल? In 1854, the president of the board of East India Company, Mr. Charles Wood, he sent a educational dispatch. Dispatch means a letter which was moved through postal services. He sent a dispatch, some recommendation, कुछ उन्होंने अपने बोर्ड ऑफ कंट्रोल में चीजें डिस्कस करी, और वो चीजें इंडिया पे इम्प्लीमेंट करने के लिए कुछ रिफॉर्म पॉलिसीज भेजी, एजुकेशनल रिफॉर्म पॉलिसीज, to the Governor General in India. The Governor General was, of course, under the British East India Company. Okay, and that dispatch, that letter, those educational policies, suggestions were called as Wood's dispatch on the behalf of his this name, Charles Wood. Now let's see what those policies were saying. Those policies were emphasizing on the practical knowledge of European learning. They said that the European knowledge was having a practical learning. Our Indian ancient texts were nothing good. They were not having any benefit to the people. उसमें केवल स्टोरीज थी, कहानियां थी, उससे ज्यादा कुछ भी लर्निंग का नहीं था हमारे एंशियंट टेक्स्ट में, ऐसा ब्रिटिशर्स ने बताया. ओके, एंड दे ऑल्सो अपोज द ओरिएंटल नॉलेज. फाइन. In this, there was an economic motive. There was an economic motive. They wanted to expand their trade and commerce. How the educational policy can expand their trade and commerce? Because by teaching them English language, they try to tell them about the England's tradition, culture. They wanted to, you know, our youths to be influenced by the England's culture, और वो उनको अपनी तरफ अट्रैक्ट करना चाह रहे थे. The citizens of India, they wanted that citizens of India to be getting attracted towards the England's culture, England's tradition, so that जितना ज़्यादा इंडियंस इंग्लैंड की ट्रेडिशन, इंग्लैंड की कल्चर को स्टडी करेंगे, उसकी तरफ अट्रैक्ट होंगे, more the England business will be flourished. Okay, Indians will buy more and more product that are made in Britain product. यानी जो प्रोडक्ट्स ब्रिटिशर्स अपने साथ इंग्लैंड से इंडिया लाते थे दैट वर मेड इन इंग्लैंड, they will be sold more, they will be in more demand. Okay, youths will be asking those product more, like clothings, textiles, books and other such accessories. Okay, so they were commercializing their products. वो अपने प्रोडक्ट्स को सेल आउट करने के लिए दे वर यूजिंग एजुकेशन एज अ वेपन. वो अपने टेक्स्ट के थ्रू हमारे इंडियन सिटीजन्स को ये बताना चाह रहे थे कि द इंग्लैंड ट्रेडिशन, इंग्लैंड कल्चर वाज फार अहेड, इट वाज फार बेटर देन इंडियन कल्चर. They wanted to create demands for British goods, as I have already told, for Indians, that they would begin to appreciate, buy things that were produced in यूरोप. जो यूरोपियन कंट्रीज में चीजें बनती थी वो उसको ज्यादा हाईलाइट करते थे. दे वर प्रेजिंग दोज थिंग्स, वो उसकी ज्यादा तारीफ करते थे, उसको बढ़ा चढ़ाकर पेश करते थे इंडियन सिटीजन्स के सामने, सो दैट इंडियन सिटीजन्स गेट इनटू दैट एल्यूडनेस और वो उन चीजों को परचेज करना स्टार्ट कर दें. सो इट वाज लाइक अ बिजनेस गेम. It recommended that this Woods Dispatch, this reform policy, recommended that this new education policy will also improve the morality and the character of the Indians, because they thought that there was some negative things also in our Indian traditional culture. So they found themselves, उन्हें लगा कि जो इंग्लैंड का ट्रेडिशन है, इंग्लैंड का कल्चर है, इट इज मोर पॉजिटिव, इट इज मोर बेटर, इट कैन improve the character and the morality of Indians far better. Okay, we will be discussing again more points related to this topic. Be with me in the video. We will be discussing what all was ahead there in Woods Dispatch. Okay, dear students, in this same heading, let's discuss some more points. The heading was Education for Commerce. Actually, company was emphasizing on the morale and the character of Indians because they were trying to inculcate the English culture, the culture of England in the Indian citizens. वो इंडियन सिटीजन्स के सामने इंग्लैंड के कल्चर की देवर प्रेजिंग द इंग्लैंड कल्चर, उसको बढ़ा चढ़ा के वो हाईलाइट कर रहे थे, जिससे कि इंडियन सिटीजन्स इंग्लैंड कल्चर की तरफ अट्रैक्ट हो जाएं और धीरे धीरे दे स्टार्ट बिकमिंग लॉयल एंड faithful also. How? Because their target was to get civil servants from India, those people who can serve in India as employees of Britishers, as a civil servants, as bureaucrats, as an administrator. So they wanted more trusted, more truthful, more honest, and the people on which the British government can rely upon, can depend upon. That's why they were emphasizing the British culture, the British education, the English education more on Indian citizens. Okay. In 1854, the education department was set up by the government. Okay. ब्रिटिश गवर्नमेंट ने इंडिया में जगह जगह पर एजुकेशनल डिपार्टमेंट्स सेटअप किए, या इनफैक्ट वी कैन से उन्होंने हर जगह एजुकेशन को रिवाइव करने की कोशिश करी और एजुकेशन अपना एक स्ट्रॉन्ग एजुकेशन डिपार्टमेंट सेटअप किया. ओके, एंड स्टेप्स वर टेकन फॉर यूनिवर्सिटी एजुकेशन ऑल्सो. यूनिवर्सिटी एजुकेशन मीन्स नाउअडेज वी हैव यूनिवर्सिटीज system for higher education like Jawaharlal Nehru University, Banaras Hindu University, CCS University. These universities which are providing higher education. Okay. In 1857, when the revolt was going on, the company was also busy in establishing the universities in the metropolitan cities like Calcutta, Madras, and Bombay. Madras, of course, is the modern day Chennai. So we are yet again with one more heading to be discussed. So let's soon get to that heading and see what all things are there to be discussed. Okay, students, let's overlook to our another heading, the report of William Adams. And let me make you clear, students, please don't get confused. There is one more heading given just above this report of William Adams in the book. That heading is in a question form. We are just trying to answer that question through this particular paragraph. Now let's see who was this Mr. William Adams. In 1830s, Mr. William Adams, he was from a Scottish missionary. He toured, he was on the tour for an official purpose in the areas of in the districts of Bengal and Bihar. He was assigned the task to audit, to make a report, to check the vernacular schools going on in this area. Vernacular schools means which were the schools which were teaching the languages which can be written, spoken and read. मतलब जहां जहां पर किसी नई लैंग्वेज को सिखाया जा रहा था उन स्कूल्स की विजिट करने के लिए इनको बोला गया और एक रिपोर्ट तैयार करके ब्रिटिश गवर्नमेंट को देने के लिए कहा गया. सो ही विजिटेड दीज एरियाज एंड ही प्रिपेयर्ड हिज रिपोर्ट. अब देखते हैं उस रिपोर्ट में इन्होंने क्या चीजें बताई हैं. व्हाट डिड ही टोल्ड इन दैट रिपोर्ट, व्हाट डिड ही फाइंड. उनको उन्होंने क्या कुछ चीजें देखी इस एरिया के जो स्कूल्स थे, ओके जो उस समय चल रहे थे. व्हाट वर हिज फाइंडिंग्स, लेट्स सी. He found that near about 1 lakh पाठशालास were running in Bihar and Bengal. बिहार और बंगाल एरिया में लगभग 1 लाख पाठशालाएं चल रही थी. In those पाठशालास, on an average 20 students were studying in each पाठशाला. Means the maximum strength of a single पाठशाला was about 20 students. एक पाठशाला में लगभग 20 बच्चे स्टडी करते थे per institute. Okay. Even though the strength of per school was very less, in a single school there were hardly 20 students. It sounds very less, सुनने में बहुत कम लगता है. But see, if you do a small multiplication, small mathematics over here, what you will find is that there were total 20 lakh, there were 20 lakh such students. Okay, there were 20 lakh students who were studying through this vernacular school, because 1 lakh pathshala and 20 students in each pathshala. So there were almost 20 lakh such students who were studying in vernacular school. These vernacular schools were institutions were run by wealthy people, the rich people, or by the local communities. Okay, जो वहाँ के धनी लोग होते थे, रिच पीपल होते थे, वो इन स्कूलों को ऑपरेट करते थे, वो उसका एक्सपेंसेस बेयर करते थे. या लोकल कम्युनिटीज, ओके, विलेज कम्युनिटीज में भी. एंड दे हैव ऑफ कोर्स टीचर. School can't be run without a teacher. They had a teacher, many a times a single teacher, and that teacher was called a guru. Let's see more findings about this William Adams report. What was other things that were to be traced in this report? We'll see this. Okay, students, let's see the report of William Adams. What were his findings about the vernacular school in the area of Bengal and Bihar district? What he found was those schools, those pathshalas were not having a fixed fee, and there were not printed books also provided to the students. Okay, and those schools were not having any specially built school building. Okay, those schools were not even having benches, no chairs, and even no blackboards, and proper attendance registers was also not there. मीन्स जो फैसिलिटीज आज आपको मॉडर्न डे स्कूल्स में दिखाई देती है यूजुअली, जो क्लासरूम्स में ब्लैक बोर्ड्स, चोक्स, डस्टर्स, अटेंडेंस रजिस्टर्स, वो सब चीजें उस समय नहीं होती थी. उस समय की पाठशालाओं में वो चीजें नहीं होती थी. देयर वर नो एनुअल एग्जामिनेशंस, इधर एनुअल एग्जामिनेशंस भी नहीं लिए जाते थे, एंड देयर वाज नो रेगुलर टाइम टेबल ऑल्सो. लेट्स सी सम मोर फीचर्स ऑफ दोस क्लासेस. द क्लासेस वर समटाइम्स held under a tree, and The place where the classes were held were the landmark places of the village, which can be easily identified, which can be in the easily reach of the villagers, like corner of the village or a shop, a temple, or maybe at the home of the guru, at the home of the teacher. The fees in those days depended on the parents' income. Means if it was a rich parent, if it was a son or a daughter of a rich parent, then they had to pay more. And if they were from a poor family, then the things were opposite. Okay, so rich people were supposed to pay more to this type of pathshalas, and teaching was done in oral way. Means oral teaching was there. No written methods or no pencil paper book methods were not there. There is some more to be discussed. In the next page, we will discuss those points as well. Okay, students, now we are into the final phase of the report of William Adams. We are discussing this report of William Adams about the uh, Pathshalas of areas of Bengal and Bihar. Now we are into the final page of the this video explanation. See what he told after his findings. उन्होंने जो कुछ सर्वे किया उस एरिया का, जो पाठशालाएं देखी बिहार और बंगाल एरिया में, जो उन्होंने पॉइंट्स बताए, वी आर डिस्कसिंग दोज पॉइंट्स नाउ, and let's see what points are left out to be discussed. Students were not separated into different classes, all of them sat together at a same place. जो स्टूडेंट्स थे उनको क्लासेस के हिसाब से अलग अलग नहीं बैठाया जाता था. दे ऑल sit together at a same place, they were sitting together. Okay, there was a flexible system as per the local needs. What does flexible system means? See, in the area of Bengal and Bihar were uh, having the population of peasants. Agriculture was still their main occupation. Of course, of entire India, the agriculture is the main occupation at that time also and today also. So keeping that in mind, the areas of Bengal and Bihar were having the huge population of peasants, farmers, agriculturists. So classes were not held during the harvesting season, because during the harvesting season, more manpower was needed, more helping hands were needed in the agriculture field. ज़्यादा लोगों की ज़रूरत होती थी उस समय हार्वेस्टिंग सीजन में एग्रीकल्चर फील्ड पर काम करने के लिए. तो एट दैट टाइम द पाठशालाज वर closed, they were shut down, and they were reopened again. Means they were having a sort of vacations. Okay, the schools were closed when harvesting season was on peak, and school were reopened when the grains, when the food grains, when the crops were cut and stored in the suitable places, then the schools were reopened. Because of this flexible system, the local needs of the peasants was fully satisfied. How? By this system, the children of peasants were also able to study in these schools. ओके, इस फ्लेक्सिबल सिस्टम से जो किसानों के बच्चे थे वहां पर बिहार और बंगाल एरिया में, वो भी आसानी से स्कूल में एजुकेशन ले सकते थे. So that's it, dear children. In today's video, we have covered about 2-3 headings. I hope you would have understood the heading. I again suggest you to keep your book open in front of you while watching the video. You can read the chapter as well and listen the video also. Okay, that's it for the day. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Jai Hind.